are commemorating the day in remembrance of the birth of Christ here in Ghana. President Akufo Addo is using the occasion to urge citizens to ensure a peaceful and transparent election come next year. We'll hear from him shortly. Also, 4 persons reportedly dead after land guards numbering about 30 clashed with residents of Denchira in the central region. We have details for you shortly. And it's 24 hours to the biggest family outdoor event, the Joy Party in the Park. Join the party train at the Eburi Botanical Gardens on December 26, 2023 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for a fun-packed family time this Christmas. And Royal Cozy Hills Hotel at Jirapa in the Upper West Region, serving as a major boost for tourism in the Upper West Region, will bring you a sneak peek of the facility for your relaxation ideas. And Ifwa Santua demands her voice back as she crosses 24 hours in her sing-a-thon record. Will bring live excerpts of her performance still ongoing at the Aviation Center. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Merry Christmas. Let's stay for the details. President Akufo Addo says his government has been able to steer the country out of the most difficult economic situation it found itself in the past 3 years, but says the country is not completely out of it yet. In his Christmas message to Ghanaians, he urged the citizens to help ensure a free, fair and transparent election next year.
The cardinal principles of Christianity, charity, faith, humility, love and reconciliation should guide us in this festive season and beyond. Fellow Ghanaians, I'm particularly glad that our nation has turned the corner. Following 3 difficult years we, and indeed the world, have faced. Inflation is being reined in, we're experiencing a relatively stable exchange rate, and growth in our economy is rebounding. We continue to attract investments, domestic and foreign, reinforcing our position as the gateway to Africa, and we remain a beacon of democracy, peace and stability in Africa. The country is not yet completely out of the woods, but there is a growing sense of confidence that with hard work and determination, Ghana will make it. And collectively, we will secure our futures. In this period, as we open our country up to the thousands and thousands of visitors who are celebrating Christmas with us, December in GH now being a global event, I appeal to all of you to exhibit at all times the proverbial Ghanaian hospitality for which we are famed. Let us leave a positive, lasting impression on them, which will help ensure that our country's tourism potential is enhanced for the benefit of our nation's socioeconomic and cultural growth. Next year is an important year in our democratic journey. We will hold on 7th December 2024 the 9th general election in the history of the Fourth Republic, which has witnessed the longest period of stable constitutional governance in our entire history. We all have a duty to conduct ourselves in such a manner that we have a free, fair, and transparent election that will enable the Ghanaian people choose, in peace and serenity, the person and persons who will manage their affairs on their behalf for the next 4 years. I'm confident that yet again, Ghanaians will rise to the occasion and reinforce the status of Ghana as a bastion of democracy on the African continent. For my part, I will always be grateful to Almighty God and to you, the Ghanaian people, for allowing me to serve you. I remain committed to the mandate you freely gave me and will use the last year of my stay in office to do all in my power to continue to help create a free and prosperous nation of opportunities, where every Ghanaian child, no matter the circumstances of his or her birth, has a fair chance to strive for a happy and dignified life and realize his or her aspirations, and where we can unleash the sense of enterprise, creativity, and innovation of the Ghanaian people, so that together we can build a progressive, prosperous Ghana whose citizens live in harmony and security in fulfillment of the dreams of the founding fathers of our nation. Let us all celebrate the season safely and responsibly, and remember to help those who are less fortunate than ourselves. Let each one of us do our bit to help feed those who are hungry and offer comfort to those in need. Let us take the time to gather, love, listen, and learn from each other, and to remember that with the help of God, we can overcome any challenge and achieve any future of which we can dream. On behalf of the government, my wife Rebecca, the First Lady, my daughters, grandchildren, and family, I extend warmest of greetings of the seasons and best wishes to all Ghanaians for a happy, prosperous new year. May God bless us all in our homeland Ghana and make her great.
That was President Akufo Addo asking Ghanaians to ensure peaceful, credible elections. Now, 4 persons are reportedly dead after land guards numbering about 30 clashed with residents of Denchira, Balogono, in the South municipality of the Greater Accra region. Several others who sustained machete and gunshot wounds remain in critical condition and are receiving treatment in the hospital. Kofi J is with our sister station and has been following this for us. He joins us with more. Kofi, tell me how this whole fight started.
What happened was that 2 residents from Balagono were going to their house on motorbike, and there was a group of land guards who have been here for about 6 months protecting land. So according to the assemblyman, he said that the land guards confronted the 2 people who were on motorbike and asked them why they didn't show travelator before branching to their house. So before they were explaining themselves, these land guards started assaulting them. And some of the committee members also came to defend their friends. And after some minutes, 2 of the land guards called reinforcements, and about 20 to 30 land guards came with motorbikes and weapons and started shooting indiscriminately in the community, beating and assaulting everybody in the community. That's what happened yesterday.
So, do we know the identities of those casualties?
The assemblyman is right here before me. Let's talk to him. He can explain better how the casualties. Honorable, this is JoyNews. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Do we know the identities of those casualties?
Yeah, I can only identify my community, the 2 community members that have been assaulted, but I cannot identify the identity of the land guards.
Right, Kofi, you said you have the assemblyman with you.
Yeah, this is assemblyman online with you now.
Okay, so what's the state of the security in the community as we speak?
Actually, the security situation is very bad as I'm talking to you now, because all the community members have to leave the community, their various houses, to lodge at a place where unidentified places because of the timely coming of their land guards again, because they promised to come again to kill the community members. And myself, I have to flee the community and sleep outside the community till daybreak this morning.
Kofi, ask the Assembly member what measures they're putting in place to ensure there's no recurrence.
Measures put in place yesterday, I have a contact with the nearest police station, precisely Dankira Police Command. And then I asked them to beef up the security situation. But their number at the police station is less. They have no car. The vehicles to move to the scene is not there. Yesterday, I have to hire this pickup for them before I was able to push the police personnel to the scene. So I'm appealing to the IGP to supply vehicles to the Dankira police station so that they can patrol the community.
Have you been able to meet these factions, I mean the people who are engaged in this fight? Have you been able to speak with any of them?
Yes, I've been able to speak to any of them.
And what are their reasons for fighting and wounding and killing people?
Actually, the land guards that were brought to the scene were shooting mercilessly in the community. So we are even on our way going to the place that the occurrence has happened.
And those people you spoke with, you did not hand them over to the police?
Yes, we handed over them to the police. The land guards yesterday were handed over, and the injured also were, the police have taken them to the hospital.
All right, I'm grateful
so yesterday, I made a follow-up to the nearest police station, the nearest hospital, that is a South Community Hospital close to my electoral area, to find out the situation on the ground. And I think the doctor is giving them treatment before I left around 6 o'clock in the evening. And
so do we know their condition as we speak?
As I'm talking to you now, I don't know the condition now. And I'm here to cross-check from the doctor at the fire hospital because yesterday I have to leave my house for security reasons.
I'm grateful for your time. We'll be bringing you more on this in our subsequent bulletins because our colleague Kofi is monitoring this for us. The Swanika family has been affirmed the owners of the Buco lands against the claim by the Nomo Mashi family. The Nomo Mashi family had earlier sued the Swanika family for laying claim on the Buco lands but lost the case at the High Court. The family appealed the case at the Court of Appeals, but following the recent Supreme Court ruling that about 70 villages, including the Buco village, do not belong to the Nomo family, the Court of Appeal has affirmed that the Swanika family are owners of Buco lands. Lawyer for the Swanika family, Sefas Odate Lamte, is urging property owners who purchased lands from the Nomo Mashi family to atone tenancy with their new land owners or face for future.
Mashi family took action against the Swanika family that they are claiming ownership of Buco village. Buco is near Buco. So the case was heard at the High Court, and the High Court decided in favor of the Swanika family, and they are not satisfied, and then they appealed to the Court of Appeal. But we recall that the basis of the claim of the Nomo Mashi family is this Ajankote compensation claim case, yes, which ended up at the High Court of Appeal, and the decision was interpreted to mean that the family owns about 72 villages, stretching all the way from yes, the foothills of Equapin Hills all the way to the sea at Teshin. Yes, and eventually the Supreme Court recently decided that that judgment of the Court of Appeal was obtained by fraud, and so it was set aside. So because this case also has its roots in that judgment, the Court of Appeal today decided that the decision of the Supreme Court actually has knocked off the very basis of the claim of the Nomo Mashi family, in this case against the Swanika family. And so the court decided that the Swanika family indeed owns Buco lands. And so that decision of the High Court has been affirmed. And today the Swanika family can rest assured that they have their lands and back, and they are protected by the decision of the court. Those who purchase land from the Rumomashi family have the option to attorn tenancy to the real owners of those lands. That will also be applicable in this situation, where those who are willing to can approach the family to have their interests regularized. That is, if the family has not already given that portion of land to maybe another person already. And failing that, the family reserves the right to enforce the judgments of the High Court and Court of Appeal, and then recover possession of the land.
The Electricity Company of Ghana has hinted at spending at least 9 million Ghana cedis on projects in 2024 in the Volta and NOT regions. The power distribution company will undertake extension and upgrading of feeders, installation and upgrading of pole-mounted transformers and the maintenance of networks. The General Manager of ECG in the Volta region, Christina Jato Kaleo, said the projects are targeted at improving service delivery.
2023 was identified as a year of innovation for the Electricity Company of Ghana. The company introduced a cashless system to resolve the challenge of prepaid system failure, leading to long queues at vending stations. The power distribution company spent 5.5 million Ghana cedis on maintenance and 3.2 million Ghana cedis on projects such as extension and upgrading of feeders in the Volta and OT regions in 2023. The General Manager of ECG in the Volta region, Christina Jato Kaleo, interacting with the press at a soiree, announced a series of projects to be undertaken in 2024 to enhance service delivery.
Next year, we intend to do more, and the projects that we have earmarked for next year at least will be about 9 million. I'm saying at least because there are some that will be coming on the pipeline which we haven't confirmed yet, but at least 9 million, all things being equal and God being on our side. Volta region was, should I say, lucky or fortunate to be selected as one of the regions to benefit from a special project where some contracts have been signed with contractors who would come in with their own resources, their capital, set up some substations and switching stations where they will complete, hand over to us, and we will pay them later. And for the Volta region, we have 4 major projects. In fact, I think only 3 regions in ECG is benefiting from this: Volta, Ashanti, and then Eastern. And we would have this in Soga, KJB, and then Akachi.
She used the opportunity to appeal to stakeholders to endeavor to protect ECG properties against theft and bushfires.
The communities, assemblymen and all that, let's all come together, because it costs so much to buy a pole. For instance, a 9-meter pole is about 4,000 Ghana cedis just for a single pole. Not to talk about the labor you have to go and dig a hole, plant it, draw the lines, and you pay the contractor. So by the time you finish replacing one pole, at least you are hitting 5,000 Ghana cedis. When it comes to the 11 meter for the high tension, that is close to 6,000 Ghana cedis for a single pole, minus the cost of replacement. So our plea is that you would help us so that our people will stop burning. If we cannot stop at all, we minimize, or be careful when we are burning, we take notice of the electricity poles.
Fred Kwame Asari, JoyNews, Ho.
Christian Church turned to despair as a devastating fire ravaged more than 70 shops at Medina Race Junction. This is the third occurrence this year and the fifth within 2 years. Although the cause is not yet known, it was established in previous incidents by the police that it was as a result of arson and reprisal attacks by different factions that live in that area. The affected structures, primarily composed of metal containers serving as shops, homes, and scrap dealers, fell victim to the flames. Joining us now is Assistant Divisional Officer ADO2 at the Public Relations Department of the Ghana National Fire Service, Alex King Nate. Grateful for your time, Mr. Nate. Let's talk about the fire at Race Junction. This time, do we know the cause of the fire?
Preliminary investigations are indicating electrical fault. Though we are yet to get to the bottom of it, that's the working theory I said now, and we are working around the clock to ascertain and confirm that truly it's an electrical fault.
This is the third time this year, if my memory serves me right. What really is the problem with that area? Do you know?
You realize that area is inhabited by squatters, and these squatters, most of them stay there illegally, and you hardly even have access to walk through because for every little space available, they take an opportunity to mount their containers and their kiosks over there. And once they do that, they don't, and they need to tap power. Most of the time, they don't get qualified electricians. And they probably ask among themselves, oh, who can do this? And then maybe someone can say, oh, I can join the YST, I can join the YST. And that's what most of the time causes these things. Our station over there has intensified their education among the people there. From what I gathered out from our people at Medina, they said the people have now been very receptive towards them. That's why this time around we realized that the fire didn't spread to the places being inhabited by people, by other the shop owners over there. So as it stands now, we don't think it might be arson. We think it might be an electrical fault, and our station are taking all these things into consideration to come up with a strategy going into next year.
What could be the permanent solution to this situation?
Well, a redevelopment of the area would be a right step in the right direction, because obviously, because these are squatters and they don't adhere to any safety precaution over there, it becomes a challenge. So once the place is redeveloped and the right things are done over there, I think it will be, it will help in, reducing or eliminating such fires in the future.
Now let's look at the bigger picture, and I mean nationally. What is the fire situation across the country?
Well, the fire situation has been a very worrying one. As I yesterday, during that fire, simultaneously there was under fire at Sukura and there was under fire also at Isu, all at the same time. So, and even in that morning, we had a very serious fire also at Adenta. So the fire situation has been worrying. The problem that we face in us an institution is that our fire tenders are old and they are not enough. So most of our tenders are out of commission. Ahead of the Christmas and the New Year, we are doing our best to fix the fixable appliances. But then because they are old, it doesn't become a permanent fix because they keep breaking down and we keep fixing them, and the IGF of the Ghana National Fire Service keeps going into maintenance while the permanent fix is to get new appliances. So we still keep making a call to government and other corporate bodies who can come into support to try and retool and re-equip the fire service, because as it stands now, there is no fire tender at Adenta. Our tender at Dodowa is also broken down. So if there's any fire at Adenta or Ulibi or the Dodowa stretch, the plants will have to come all the way from Medina to attend to the fire over there, which is a very worrying situation. So we hope that the needs of the Ghana National Fire Service will be met, timely, so that we can be able to better serve the people of Ghana.
What's your advice to the public, especially in this festive season?
Well, our advice to the public is that as much as they take their security concerns seriously, they should do well to take their safety concerns also seriously. We are in a season where the Christmas season is known for a lot of fires. Last year, between 21st and 26th December alone, we recorded over 226 fires just these 2 days. So it's a very worrying trend. And so far, apart from the major fire we went to arrest, we are hoping that we shouldn't go to any other major fires, and we are hoping for a reduction in fires this year within this tide as compared to last year.
I'm grateful for your time. Mr. Nati is with the PR department of the fire service at the Ghana National Fire Service. Alex Nati, Assistant Divisional Officer, ADO2. I'm grateful for your time this morning. Now, rice production in the Upper East region is receiving a major boost as more than 1,500 women benefit from a rice processing plant set up by the BBN Cooperative with technical and financial assistance from Canadian NGO Sokodevi and the Proceed project. Support from the NGO has enabled a partnership between women engaged in rice parboiling, rice producing, and the district assembly to create a small industry where rice from some farm gates gets to the processing factory and then out to the market as a finished product, thereby creating employment for all parties involved. Upper East Region correspondent Albert Sori has more.
The Development Program for Inclusive and Sustainable Model Cooperatives, PROCED, is a project being implemented by the International Development Cooperation Society, Sokodevi, a Canadian non-governmental international organization with funding support from Global Affairs Canada. In 2018, based on stakeholder consultations, Sokodevi saw the potential in rice processing in the Upper East region, since a lot of women in the region were already engaged in the business of rice parboiling but lacked the machinery to properly process their rice. Between the years 2020 and 2021, Sokodevi established 2 rice milling centers at Bazua near Buco and in Bolgatanga to enable the women to mill, destone, and polish their rice to make it appealing to the market. However, this year, they have decided to have 1 processing center that is housing all milling equipment, including grading machines, a color sorting machine, and a packaging machine. Raphael Asunre is the team lead for the PROCED project.
We realized that most of these women knew their trade, they knew how to do the parboiling, but there were issues with quality, as it were, with good milling equipment that could mill this rice to the highest of quality to be able to fetch a high-end market. And so we had some interaction with these women groups and then decided to bring them together to set up a model co-op in the rice parboiling sector. And over the period, we've been able to support them with some trainings through our Sokodevi Field School activities. We've been able to introduce some new parboiling technologies to them.
The Bongo District Assembly released this warehouse, which had not been in use for many years, to be used for the rice processing center. Rice supplies for the processing center come from the BBN Cooperative. This is a cooperative made up of over 1,500 women from Bolgatanga, Bongo, and Navrongo engaged in rice parboiling. Gilberta Akoka is the board president of the cooperative.
We have men who supply us rice, the paddy. So the women's duty is only to parboil the rice, dry it, and then collect it at the moisture content that the BBN Corp wants. And the BBN Corp goes to buy the parboiled rice and send it to the mills, mill it, and sell it for the Corp.
She said getting a ready market for their rice after it has been processed is currently the major challenge.
We don't have people buying our milled rice in big quantities. So we produce, the rice is there, but we don't have buyers. And that is because people have a bad perception about local rice. They think that all rice contains stones, but our rice has no stones. Well, we have in our machines, one of the machines is a destoner. So it removes all the stones. It affects the women because if the co-op buys the rice, mills it, and we are not able to get people to buy the milled rice, then that means that we are not going to get money. And
so the arrangement is that the factory has to sell the finished product and then pay the women.
Yes, and get money and pay. But what we want is not for us to finish selling the rice. It's because of our financial situation. If not, we are supposed to go and just buy the rice and pay them.
The PROCED project has come to a close, and this rice processing center has been handed over to the BBN cooperative, which must ensure that it continues to function and keep the people working here employed. At the closing workshop, which brought together stakeholders to tour the center and discuss ways to maintain this project, the paramount chief of the Bongo traditional area, Naba Baba Salifu Lemyarum, appealed to the government to ensure that the rice processing center does not collapse.
Now, what support can we give them? I think the government has to play a major role. You see, why is it that we can import rice and we cannot export rice? It is also time now to begin exporting our rice.
This government warehouse has only been given on a rental basis for 3 years to the BBN cooperative to install and operate the rice processing plant. It is therefore hoped that the rent will be renewed for a longer period and maybe under more flexible terms so that the rice processing plant can continue to create jobs for the people. For JoyNews, Albert Sori, Bolgatanga.
The Royal Cozy Hills Hotel at Jirapa in the Upper West Region is serving as a major boost for tourism in the Upper West Region. The hotel's safari ranch continues to provide an unforgettable safari adventure right here in Ghana. Maxwell Agbagba was there for Joy Prime Explore to learn about the hotel's lions, zebras, hippos, ostriches, and more. Here are excerpts.
Welcome to the heart of the Upper West Region, where the Royal Cozy Hills Hotel stands as a beacon, attracting people from diverse backgrounds and corners of the world. What truly captivates visitors is the unparalleled safari experience. At the Safari Ranch, behind the electrified fence lies the Hippo's Pond. 2 hippos gracefully step out to feed. Despite being herbivores, they are considered the largest killer of humans among large African animals. With safety as a top priority, the authorities have implemented stringent measures to ensure a secure environment.
Welcome to Joy Prime Explore, and we are here at the Safari Ranch of the Royal Cozy Hills Hotel, and we are here to explore the Safari Ranch. You hear that sound already from our hippos, and soon we get to meet them. But I have with me here the tour operations manager here, Aziz Popo. He's going to tell us more about this Safari Ranch and why you don't have to travel outside Ghana to see hippos, to see African lion, to see zebras, to see impalas, to see all the beautiful species that you travel outside Ghana just to see. Aziz.
Yes, bro.
Thanks so much.
Nice to have you.
Glad to meet you.
Yes, we are grateful.
Great. So tell us what we're doing here today.
All right, so right there is our hippo's pond.
Okay.
Yes, as you know, the hippo is the 3rd largest mammal on land after the elephant and the white rhino.
Okay.
An adult hippos weighs between 1,300 to 1,800 kilograms.
1,300
to 1,800 kilograms, as you can see them. And they are
I weigh a little above 100 kilograms.
You see?
And they weigh what?
1,300 to 1,800 kilograms.
Wow.
And they also feed about 40 kilograms of food on daily basis. And they are herbivorous. So they depend on leaves, grasses, shrubs, fruits, and grains to survive.
Wow.
And these are semi-aquatic mammals with a lifespan of 40 to 50 years.
You said 40 kilograms of food every day?
Yes, every day. And it's herbivorous.
You know what?
So imagine how much leaves, grasses they consume on daily basis.
But I'm actually thinking about that in the quantity of balls of banku. You know, he said 40. Banku is my favorite food, so he said 40 kilograms. I'm thinking, so how many balls of banku will be that? So let's go and see the African lions and all the other animals here.
Now it is time to encounter the king of the jungle, the lion. Top manager Aziz Pelpo reveals they feed them 3 cattle weekly. Each meal becomes a majestic feast, creating a spectacle for visitors.
Okay, so first let me reassure you that you are very safe. Okay, so this is a buffer zone for forest, very safe. The inner perimeter or the inner fence, you see the height. Lions are not able to climb that height. That is why we increase the height of the fence. And we also electrified it for additional protection. And, you know, in terms of sexual intercourse, the lion can have sexual intercourse up to 50 times a day.
50 times a day?
Yes, just that each mating session lasts a few seconds, maybe 15 to 30 seconds is done. So in the wild, the females do most of the hunting.
The females do most of the hunting?
Yes, the males will eat and perform the usual male function and also protect the family. And for the lion to attack, first they will determine who or what they want to attack. And mostly they'll go for the weakest prey, either the one that is isolated from the group. If it's humans, for example, the one that is isolated from the group, they'll go for you, or the one that looks smaller or looks weaker or fragile. That is the one they'll always go for. And they'll always calculate the amount of energy they'll use to get the feed. Lions, as you already said, they are carnivorous strictly. So aside meat, they only drink water. And they want their meat fresh. With their blood, yes. So they take any readily available meat once it is not fatty or it's not carcass. If you preserve it, they don't eat. They don't want you to dry it or no. They just want it fresh.
They don't want it like kebab or anything.
No. They just want it fresh with the blood. And over here, we feed them 3 times in a week. And each meal is a full cow, a fully grown cow.
And as we celebrate this festive season, we want to share a touching story about the kids at the Kibu Teaching Hospital's oncology department. Thanks to a kind donation from Philip Nye and his friends, these children fighting cancer have something heartwarming to smile about. Sweetie Aboche brings us the story.
In the heart of Kibu Teaching Hospital lies a department where courage meets crumbling hope and the strength of young souls shines even in the face of a fading life. I invite you to step into the world of children in the oncology department, beginning from the Rebecca Akufo Addo Gapak Sunshine House, where the generous donation of Philip and friends brought life to these children.
My name is Emmanuel. I am 9 years old boy. My goddess is cancer. Blood cancer.
Do you understand what that means? What does it mean to have blood cancer?
I don't know.
But how does it feel?
I feel pain. I go to treatment on Tuesdays. When I go, I'm going to take chemo.
Amidst the formidable challenges of battling cancer, these children exhibit remarkable resilience, maintaining a positive spirit that serves as an inspiration to us all. Yet behind those courageous smiles, the parents bear the weight of an unimaginable burden. The crushing cost of treatment not only empties their pockets, but also steals away their livelihoods, leaving them financially destitute as they devote every waking moment to their ailing children.
If I do that, be credit, not yasam, mobo. Near Sicacre, the better, Adrian, the Fissameno, Meko, Acquire, Juma de Abu Aqualano, Mimu Metafaco, Menco, baby, Obrani amanu ena ye hu wa ha sei. Mami bi o wa ha no operation agene 300 million. Sika dada ni 300 million. It's 50 million kura mi ni bi.
Cancer no edro bi enu anu ma like a cost 100 cedis. Edro lowest 5 million. It just imagine say a week per wako.
The Rebecca Akufo Addo Sunshine House, which serves as a hostel for children battling cancer and their parents, also grapples with its own challenges. Insufficient water, inadequate beds, a scarcity of food, and a constant struggle for funds.
We're still live on JoyNews Desk. We'll take a break. When we return, there is more we're bringing your way.
Hello, Merry Christmas to you. Welcome to the business segment on JoyNews Desk. With me, Pius Kujobaka. Some stakeholders in the hospitality industry have called for a proper restructuring of the December in Ghana celebrations to spread activities for the entire month. According to some hotel managers, most of the activities in December are centered in the last week of December, defeating the purpose of attracting tourists for the entire duration in Ghana. Speaking to Joy Business, Managing Director of Labadi Beach Hotel, David Eduafo, said the celebrations can be extended beyond 1 week to encourage more spending.
December in Accra, or let's say in Ghana, has always been, since 2019, has been a wonderful, sight to behold. That the Ghana Tourism Authority got right with the year of return and then the beyond the return is working. But there's more to be done to sustain it. Otherwise, it will get to a point that it will fizzle out. So they need to solidify it. Currently, yes, the numbers are there, but it's all centered at the last week of December and then just 3 days of January. Okay, so you are busy, super busy, just the last week of December. Every activity is at the last week of December. I would love to see it staggered so that if it is a December thing, then right from the word go, from 1st December, there are activities lined up that will encourage people to have events and to zoom into the main Christmas activities and, of course, the New Year activities. But as we speak now, everybody wants to come from the 27th of December up to the 3rd of January. How possible that you can contain all these people in the number of hotels we have here? So it becomes very difficult, and so it becomes a challenge for those coming. They can't get proper accommodation because the hotels are full for that period. But if it's staggered, and so some will go, some will come, there should be a proper planning and proper activities lined up, and everybody will have the fair share. So December becomes like a pilgrimage period, But I'm going to repeat this, it's just centered the last week of December.
It was a happy and refreshing moment at the Asokwa Children's Hospital in Kumasi as management of Promasido Ghana Limited gifted indisposed children at the hospital. In celebration of the festive season, the food and beverage giant donated nutritional products and stationery in promotion of good health and well-being for the children. Here's more.
To the Asokwa Children's Hospital, loaded with souvenirs and products of Promasido, children at the hospital received food and beverage products and stationery. From one ward to the other, the company gifted both in and out patients of the hospital. The event forms part of activities arranged by the company in celebration of the festive season. Gifty Darko is the brand executive of Promasido Ghana Limited.
The festive season is all about giving back to society. I believe giving back in the small way you can goes a long way to improve upon the lives of people. So we decided to embark on this project just to put this smiles on the children's faces, because why not? They are our primary audience. They've been riding with us for over 25 years. So what better way to put smiles on their faces than to come and give back to them? We donated children's toys. We also donated some of our products, Vita, Twisco, and Cowbell. And Asokwa is very special to us. You know, it's a children's home and it's not particularly selected for any reason, but to give back to the children.
The Asokwa Children's Hospital is one of the pediatric care centers in the region, existing for more than 15 years. Management of the hospital says the gesture would invigorate the indisposed children. Thomas Ayembila is Deputy Administrator at the Asokwa Children's Hospital.
It's been a motivation to some of the wards that were at the ward. You know, some of them were not feeling well, but seeing this gift motivated them. So we are praying that God will cushion Promasidor Ghana Limited in terms of business-wise to always extend their helping hands to kids like this, in Christmas festive season like this.
And that'll be all for business. I am Pius Kojo Baka. There'll be more stories after this break.
And we're just 24 hours to the biggest family event in the country, the Joy FM Family Party in the Park. Tickets are selling very fast. Well, the party train stops at the Buri Botanical Gardens on December 26th, which is just tomorrow, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for a fun-packed family time this Christmas. The rate is a cool 200 Ghana cedis for a family of 6. You can't miss this. You just definitely have to be there. Get your children, husband, wife, cousins, aunties, grandparents, and go and have fun with the family in the park. Well, it's day 2 of Ifwa Santua's attempt at breaking the Guinness World Record of the longest singing marathon by an individual after completing 24 hours of continuous singing last night. Asantua started her sing-a-thon early hours of Sunday, December 24, and is expected to finish on the 27th of December, hoping to break the record of Indian Sunil Wangma, who currently holds the title after singing for 105 hours from March 3 to March 7, 2012. Ifwa is expected to complete her stunt on Wednesday. She's currently on break. We'll bring you more when she resumes.
Come over, let's take a ride on my sofa. The night is young, baby, unleash your cobra. I feel you, Shazia. 1 minute thinking is over.
Well, 2 more days to go. Finish hard, Ifwa, and make Ghana proud. That's how we wrap up the bulletin this morning. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjoyonline.com and get more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our programs. Merry Christmas.